In tonight's headlines, the city's wet markets and restaurants do brisk trade as Hongkongers celebrate with reunion dinners on Winter Solstice. Hong Kong-born twin panda cubs likely to make their public debut in February. And at least 4 people, including a toddler, have been killed and scores injured after a car plows into a bustling Christmas market in the German city of Magdeburg.
Wet markets across the city were buzzing with activity this morning as Hong Kongers got ready to celebrate the Winter Solstice with family and loved ones. At the Yuen Ook Road Market in Tsuen Wan, there was heavy demand for fresh meat and fish ahead of the reunion dinners. This woman said she bought chicken for hot pot and was willing to spend a few $1,000s. I got oysters, fish belly and beef, said this woman. This fish store owner said the market is bustling and sales are good. An employee from a meat store said business had improved over the past 2 days, but he expects it to slow down after Christmas. We will not raise the price and we are happy to have customers, he added. The catering industry in Hong Kong has also experienced a significant boost in business. An eatery in Kwun Tong is fully booked for 2 rounds of dinner, with an average price of $4,000 per table, a 5% rise from last year. However, the high cost of fresh produce in Hong Kong has forced many to celebrate the Winter Solstice across the border in Shenzhen. Half of the bookings for tonight at one restaurant in the tech hub have been reserved by Hongkongers. The restaurant manager said since the Winter Solstice falls on a Saturday, it is likely to bring in more Hongkongers for dining. She expected to serve 10 more tables this year. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Authorities are predicting travel figures to hit pre-pandemic levels this holiday season, with an estimated 200,000 travelers heading in and out of the city every day. In a blog post, Secretary for Transport and Logistics Mabel Chen noted that the airport's capacity has fully recovered, and airlines are actively expanding networks and adding new destinations. With the resumption of the multiple entry visa for Shenzhen residents, the number of inbound travelers will see a significant increase, Chen added. To handle the cross-border influx, the Transport Department will enhance services linking border checkpoints, increase cross-boundary bus frequency, and provide overnight rail services. Chen also emphasized that the government is focused on extending the SAR's high-quality air logistics services to the Greater Bay Area's 86 million residents. By the end of 2025, the Airport Authority plans to complete the first phase of construction of a logistic park in Dongguan in Guangdong Province, which will eventually handle up to 1 million tons of cargo annually to satisfy the region's demands for global fresh produce. Ocean Park Chairman Paulo Pong attributed the significant increase in visitor numbers since giant pandas An An and Ke made their first public appearance earlier this month.
Speaking
on a radio program, Pong mentioned that the resumption of the multiple entry visa for Shenzhen residents has led to more mainland visitors. Additionally, many tourists from Southeast Asia, Europe, and the United States also visited the park. The number of visitors from India quadrupled this year. Despite higher attendance and revenue, the park continues to face financial losses, and the government plans to suspend funding support next year. Pong expressed a desire for continued government backing, highlighting the substantial cost of conservation efforts and the invaluable nature of conservation education. He noted that the park engages in various conservation activities, such as assisting with stranded sea mammals and sterilizing monkeys, often at minimal or no cost. With Christmas approaching, Pong stated that the park is prepared to welcome guests. Ongoing discussions with experts are focused on introducing the baby pandas to the public, with hopes to showcase them after the Lunar New Year. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News. Ahead of the annual budget early next year, the Health Bureau is set to announce revised charges for treatment at public hospitals. In an interview with iCable News, Health Secretary Lo Chung-mao revealed that currently 60% of emergency room patients are treated for minor ailments, such as the common cold. He hopes that the upcoming revision in charges will discourage the misuse and overuse of emergency services. Lo also reassured that genuinely critical patients may not incur any charges at all. Furthermore, the Bureau has updated its guidelines for reporting medical incidents, which will now adhere to a 3-step process: conducting an internal investigation, providing an explanation to the affected families, and making a public announcement. While some have proposed implementing a time limit for these announcements, Lo countered that a one-size-fits-all approach is impractical. Given the varying severity of medical incidents, he argued that each case must be evaluated individually. Public health issues will be communicated promptly, but follow-up cases will be addressed on a case-by-case basis, he said. Regarding restructuring plans for hospital clusters, Lo stated that resource allocation will depend on population growth and demographic changes. On the potential merger of Hong Kong Island's eastern and western clusters and the allocation of 500 new beds at Eastern Hospital, he confirmed that no decision has been made yet, pending further assessments. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
As the Development Bureau mulls over the relaunch of the voluntary reporting mechanism for unauthorized building works in village houses, Secretary for Development Bernadette Lin revealed that around a quarter of such structures may qualify for a temporary reprieve from demolition. The scheme, which lasted less than 1 year ending in December 2012, permitted low-risk unauthorized structures built before 2011 to be retained after regular safety checks. Taking to the airwaves, Lin said, in 2012, many residents did not voluntarily come forward for the fear that they might get punished. So this time, the reporting period will last for more than 1 year. The Buildings Department has checked 2/3 of 90,000 village houses, finding out that about half have illegal structures, Lin added. Small-scale changes such as drying racks and supporting frames for air conditioners or canopies will be overlooked as they are deemed safe. Lin stressed that due to a shortage of staff, the department cannot deal with all the cases right away. But that does not mean property owners don't need to do anything. Any structure can deteriorate over a period of time. If issues arise, the department will ask the owners to fix them, instead of prosecuting them for illegal construction, she said. In the proposed amendments to the Buildings Ordinance, those who knowingly facilitate such transactions will also be liable for punishment. This includes lawyers and property agents.
The inaugural concert at the Kai-Tak Arena last night received praise from officials, saying it generally met the government's expectations, although spectators highlighted areas for improvement. The Chill Thai Music Festival, featuring local boy band Mira, girl group Kohler, and various Thai performers, attracted over 5,200 attendees. Designed to assess the venue's readiness for large-scale events, the concert experienced delays of 20 to 50 minutes in its opening and closing. While spectators commented that the acoustic and lighting systems could be improved, they appreciated the clear instructions and helpful staff. This attendee rated the event 70 out of 100, citing potential for enhancement. Several officials, including Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Rosanna Law, Commissioner for Sports George Choi, and Acting Secretary for Security Michael Chuk, attended the event. Choi expressed satisfaction with the test run and noted a positive atmosphere. He mentioned that audio and visual setups would be refined, with systems in place to manage overruns. Ho Mingyan, Deputy District Commander for Sao Maoping District, stated that the event effectively tested the venue's crowd control capabilities and transport capacity, which will aid in planning for bigger events in the future. There was an eerie silence at a Christmas market in the eastern German city of Magdeburg this morning, where a car plowed into a crowd, killing 4 people, including a toddler, and injuring over 200 others, according to German media. The horrific act occurred last night, and German authorities have classified the incident as a terror attack. Among the deaths, the child and adult were killed on the spot, where 2 others died after being sent to hospital. Currently, 13 injured were reported to be in critical condition. Footage from social media captured a black car speeding into the market, striking down multiple people before finally stopping at the far end. The driver was promptly arrested and identified as a 50-year-old doctor from Saudi Arabia who works and has lived in Germany since 2006. The attacker is believed to have operated alone and had rented the car specifically for the crime. However, investigators are not ruling out his involvement in a wider network. Police did not find any explosive in the vehicle. Although the suspect was not on any terror watch list back home, Saudi Arabia had alerted German authorities about him due to his extreme statement on social media, officials stated. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier said the attack interrupted the anticipation of a peaceful Christmas. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Interior Minister Nancy Faeser visited Magdeburg today and offered condolences. Meanwhile, the Saudi government expressed solidarity with the German people and the families of the victims. Its foreign ministry has condemned the attack. Keeping festive shopping venues secure has been a major concern for German law enforcement since 2016, when an Islamic extremist drove a truck into a burning market, resulting in 13 fatalities and numerous injuries. Quentin Ya, Cable News.
The bill is passed and without objection.
In a last-minute respite before the holidays, the United States Senate has passed a budget deal to extend public funding and avert what would be the first federal government shutdown since 2019. Narrowly missing a midnight deadline, the deal was passed by an overwhelming margin of 85 to 11. An initial draft of the deal was vetoed by both houses of the U.S. government in defiance of President-elect Donald Trump's demand to approve trillions of dollars in new debt. The legislation now awaits President Joe Biden's signature, with the White House confirming his support for the deal. This new law will extend government funding until mid-March and allocate $100 billion for disaster relief and provide $10 billion in aid for farmers. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson described the passage a necessary step to bridge the gap before the party gains full control of Congress next year, noting that Trump is pleased with this outcome as well. However, sources indicated that the president-elect is disappointed by limits of his ability to command lawmakers from his own party.